types of chemical reaction. So before that, we have seen what is chemical reaction and how to write the equation. And if equation is not balanced, that is called as the escalator equation. And then we have to balance the equation. That we have learned in the last class about the balancing of the equation and how we can write the physical states of the reactants and products. Now we are going to see various types of the reaction one by one. Okay. So we have some criteria. On the basis of that, we'll divide reactions, chemical reactions in various types. So first one is the combination reaction. Name क्या है? Combination. So two reactants are going to combine होने के बाद एक single product बनाएगा. That is called as the combination reaction. Okay. So here, if you see that activity is taken, so here calcium oxide is taken. That is also called as the quicklime, and this calcium oxide is going to react with water. So here reactant is what? One of the reactant is calcium oxide. That is called as the quicklime. Or another reactant is the water. This is the normal water. So that's calcium oxide in the solid state and water in the liquid state. After reaction, it is going to give the product that is called as the slacked line. So that expression formula for that Ca, calcium OH hydroxide. So calcium hydroxide CaOH whole 2. So this is the aqueous, means it is soluble in the water and it's produce the heat. So in the reaction, when heat is being produced, so that reaction will be called as the exothermic reaction. So here we are not giving any heat, but heat is being produced. तो ऐसे रिएक्शन को क्या बोलेंगे? एक्सोथर्मिक रिएक्शन. जहां पर और जहां पर दो रिएक्टेंट्स मिलके एक प्रोडक्ट बना रहा है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द कॉम्बिनेशन रिएक्शन. और हियर फॉर्चुनेटली हीट भी जनरेट हो रहा है, सो दैट इज आल्सो कॉल्ड एज द एक्सोथर्मिक reaction. So calcium hydroxide is here single product, and whereas the reactant having two things. Okay, so we have two reactants. So this many times you will have observed this calcium hydroxide. It is being utilized for the whitewashing. So after whitewashing, maybe immediately you will not get the shining. Okay. So after whitewash, calcium hydroxide क्या होता है? Slowly is going to have react with carbon dioxide of the atmosphere. Then it's formed the thin layer of the calcium carbonate on the wall. So due to this formation of the calcium carbonate, we'll have shiny finish on the wall. Okay, so that reaction is, how reaction takes place? We have select line, calcium hydroxide plus carbon dioxide. So now finally, it is going to form the CaCO3 as well as water. So this calcium carbonate is also like marble. Okay, so it will get the shining wall. Surface will going to shine. So क्या हुआ? Select line going to react with carbon dioxide in 2-3 days. फिर ये क्या बनाएगा? Calcium carbonate or water. So finally, calcium carbonate we going to provide the कैसा surface? Shiny surface. So some more examples we have for the combination reaction. So try to remember the formula for the quick line, select line. These are the importance. Many times we are going to use. So burning of coal. So coal क्या है? Carbon. Maximum components carbon. और burning के लिए oxygen is important. So calcium, carbon plus oxygen is going to react, is going to produce the carbon dioxide. So here two reactants are there. One is carbon, another is oxygen. So ये कार्बन और का ऑक्सीजन मिलके क्या बनाया? सिंगल प्रोडक्ट बनाया, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. Second one, hydrogen and water. Two reactants forms what? Water. So it is also example of the combination reaction. So what you are observing here, we have two or more reactants also can be there. So generally we have two reactants जो कि रिएक्शन में भाग लेता है और एक सिंगल प्रोडक्ट बनाया. अब इसमें यदि हीट इवॉल्व हुआ तो देन विल कॉल एज द एक्सोथर्मिक केमिकल रिएक्शन. इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू जनरेट द हीट, देन इट्स ओके. So when we are going to burn the natural gas, so CH4 is the methane. Okay, later we'll have more discussion about methane जब हम लोग कार्बन एंड कार्बन कंपाउंड्स पढ़ेंगे. So methane क्या है? गैस. और समटाइम्स विल हैव बायोगैस आल्सो. तो ऑक्सीजन के प्रेजेंस में, मतलब whenever you have to burn, oxygen is the necessary components. So it's going to react with oxygen और क्या बनाया? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एंड वाटर. और during the respiration, whenever we inhale and exhale, so there also heat is being produced during the exhale. So that is also the exothermic reaction. तो वेन एवर मीथेन क्या गैस है, एक फ्यूल है. ये जब बर्न होगा तो ऑटोमेटिक हीट प्रोड्यूस होगा जिससे खाना बनता है. तो दैट्स व्हाई इट इज द एग्जांपल ऑफ द एक्सोथर्मिक रिएक्शन. Again, you talk about the digestion systems. So in the digestion systems, mainly we are taking the carbohydrates. So rice, potatoes, bread, they are what? Rich in carbohydrates. So these carbohydrates are being broken to form the glucose. Finally, this glucose is also going to be utilized, is going to burn with oxygen to provide the energy, to provide the carbon dioxide, to provide the water. So finally, if you see in the higher class, this glucose is also going to break into maltose, fructose, sucrose. So finally, after digestion, whatever carbohydrates are there, it will be broken into form of glucose. क्या बनेगा? ग्लूकोज. रियल लाइफ में हम लोग ग्लूकोज लेते हैं टू गेट द इंस्टेंट एनर्जी, है ना. So finally, this glucose is going to react with oxygen again. So here एक रिएक्टेंट क्या है? ग्लूकोज. दूसरा रिएक्टेंट क्या है? ऑक्सीजन. So finally रिएक्शन होने के बाद ये क्या बनाया? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड और वाटर, साथ में एनर्जी. ओके, कोई डाउट है? Anything you can write in the comment. Again, we have decomposition of the vegetable matter into compost is also an exothermic reaction. So this decomposition of vegetable is not the example of the combination reaction, but it is the example of the exothermic reaction. So where it will be produced. Next we have decomposition. So before हम लोग क्या देखे? कॉम्बिनेशन. दो रिएक्टेंट मिलके एक प्रोडक्ट बना रहा है, साथ में हीट भी प्रोड्यूस कर सकता, नहीं भी कर सकता. So that was the example of क्या? Combination reaction. Next we have decomposition reaction. So some decompose, something is going to break into some components. यहाँ पे एक activity you can see, heating the boiling tube containing the crystal of ferrous sulfate. इसमें क्या है? ferrous sulfate है, FeSO4. तो ferrous sulfate को हीट किया गया. अब यहाँ पे हीट हम लोग दे रहे हैं. So when you will give the heat, that will be called as the endothermic reaction. पहले क्या था? कॉम्बिनेशन में हीट प्रोड्यूस हो रहा था, that was the exothermic reaction. और यहाँ decomposition में we are giving the heat from the extra outside of the system, we are providing the heat. तो ये क्या हो गया? Endothermic reaction. तो ड्यूरिंग दिस क्या हो रहा है? FeSO4 अपने कंपोनेंट्स में टूट रहा. So it's going to provide this ferrous sulfate is the ferric oxide, that is Fe2O3, and we have SO2 and SO3. These are the sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide. SO2 is the sulfur dioxide, SO3 is the sulfur trioxide. So finally, these are the products. So what we are seeing is single जो है substance FeSO4, ये टूट गया in three substance: ferric oxide, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxides. और सल्फर डाई एंड ट्राइऑक्साइड क्या है, गैसियस स्टेट में है, और फेरिक ऑक्साइड क्या है, सॉलिड स्टेट में. So how will feel this? So there you'll get the some smell, that is wafting gas gently. It will move towards the nose. Then we'll feel that it has broken. That means decomposition takes place. And here, when we are going to heat, so it has some water molecule contains. So that water molecules will be dry. When you are heating something, water molecule क्या होगा, crystal को छोड़ रहेगा. So due to that, again, color of the crystal is also going to change. So that you can observe here if you are going to do the experiment. So finally, color will change and you'll feel the smell of that gas. Okay. Another example is taken where we have decomposition of calcium carbonates. इससे पहले हम लोग क्या देखें? We have select line that is going to react with carbon dioxide. Then you are getting the calcium carbonate and water. अब क्या देख रहे हैं कि calcium carbonates, when we will give the heat, so when you are giving the heat, so again it is example क्या है, endothermic reaction. So now this calcium carbonate is going to be available as calcium oxide, that is the quicklime, as well as carbon dioxide. So here quicklime is available in the state क्या है इसका, solid, और carbon dioxide क्या है, gaseous state. Okay. So here decomposition takes place. किसका decomposition हुआ, calcium carbonate, that is also called as the limestone. So that you can, okay. Now again you have another activity where lead nitrate is being heated here. So when we are going to heat the lead nitrate, then we'll have emission of nitrogen dioxide. So lead nitrate is PbNO3. Okay. So once we'll heat it, it's going to produce the nitrogen dioxide. So how this reaction is going to take place? So here we have PbNO3. So again heat is given. So it is again endothermic reaction. So what you are seeing, that decomposition. Okay. Here we are providing the heat, whereas the decomposition of the vegetables, materials that produce the heat. So that's the difference. So here PbNO3, it is going to decompose. Okay. So PbNO3 whole 2, again you have to balance that, you know how to balance. So main thing here, first when we are writing the reaction, we have to write PbNO3, lead nitrate whole 2, when heat will be produced. So finally what we are going to get, lead oxide, that is the PbO, plus nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. So like this, first we'll write the reaction, later we'll balance. Okay. So this is also example of what? Decomposition reaction. किसका डिकम्पोजिशन हो रहा है? लेड नाइट्रेट का, और प्रोडक्ट क्या बन रहा है? लेड ऑक्साइड, नाइट्रोजन ऑक्साइड एंड ऑक्सीजन. Now we have another activity, that is the electrolysis of water. So water is what? Formula क्या है? H2O. तो जब वाटर जब ब्रेक होगा, it will convert into H plus O2 minus. So for this activity, what they have done, they have taken two tubes. Okay, one tube is formed the cathode one tube is formed as the anode with the arrangement of electrodes. Okay, cathode is the negative, anode is the positive electrode. So now here sealing is done. Okay, sealing is done properly so that this gas will not come out. So finally, अब इसमें क्या हुआ 6 volt का supply and here we have switch. So you know that later we'll have electric circuit. So that we'll see in the physics part. What are the basic components of the electric circuit? What is the electric circuit? That all definition we'll see. तब इसमें क्या हुआ इसमें ग्रेफाइट रॉड इलेक्ट्रोड का काम कर रहा है और एक पॉजिटिव टर्मिनल ऑफ बैटरी जहां कनेक्ट हुआ दैट विल एक्ट एज द एनोड और नेगेटिव टर्मिनल ऑफ बैटरी जिस इलेक्ट्रोड से कनेक्ट हुआ दैट विल एक्ट एज द कैथोड. ओके, अब जब सप्लाई दिया गया व्हेन स्विच इज क्लोज्ड डॉट शोज दैट स्विच इज क्लोज्ड. सो जब सप्लाई देने के बाद क्या होगा दिस वाटर मोलिक्यूल इज ब्रेक इनटू इट्स कंपोनेंट्स. तो ये भी क्या हो जाएगा डिकम्पोजिशन है ना. वाटर क्या होगा ब्रेक होगा किसमें H2 और O2 हाइड्रोजन गैस और ऑक्सीजन गैस इसमें कन्वर्ट होगा. So that is also decomposition reaction. So here you will see that हाइड्रोजन क्या है आयन का फॉर्मेशन जब होगा तो दैट इज द कैटायन. So it will be available where at cathode terminal and oxygen is forming what anion. So that will be available where at anode. Okay, opposite. On the negative, positive ion will be available. On the positive electrode, negative ion will be available. So finally here we'll have, you are seeing that hydrogen gas is where at cathode, oxygen gas is where at anode. So this is the call as the electrolysis. So where water is going to available in its components, that is the hydrogen and oxygen. Any doubt is there? Next we have another decomposition. So this is they're asking many times about silver chloride. Okay, any doubt? कोई doubt होने से you can write in comment box. So now here we have silver chloride. Silver chloride is kept that is the AgCl, Ag for silver, Cl for the chloride. It is kept where in China dish. अब इसमें क्या है sunlight fall होगा. So again sunlight we are giving, so it is the endothermic reaction. As well as the silver chloride is going to break into components silver and chlorine. So क्या is it example of decomposition? Yes or no? Yes. So silver chloride is going to be available in the form of silver and chlorine. So decomposition हुआ किसका silver chloride in the presence of sunlight. So this sunlight is going to act as the catalyst. Due to that only this decomposition is going to occur. Okay. इसलिए sunlight दिया मतलब heat. So that's why it is the endothermic reaction as well as decomposition reaction. Similarly, silver bromide. So AgBr. So here also if you provide the heat, it is also going to be available as the silver and bromide. So what is use of this reaction, especially silver bromide reaction? Even for the silver chloride reaction, that also both are useful where in the black and white photography. So if you see that now we have everything become digital, but earlier we have something called as like a negative and all. Okay, so there it is being utilized where in black and white photography we are going to use this decomposition reaction where silver chloride and silver bromide वो both are going to decompose. क्या हो रहा है इसका डिकम्पोज हो रहा सिल्वर में क्लोरीन में सिल्वर में ब्रोमाइड में. ओके, सो हियर यू आर सीइंग दैट जितना भी डिकम्पोजिशन रिएक्शन हम लोग देखा so that requires some energy. So that's why it's called energy means either in the form of heat or in the form of light or in the form of electricity. Electrolysis में भी पावर सप्लाई दिया गया 6 वोल्ट. So electricity is there in silver bromide, silver chloride, light दिए और इससे पहले डायरेक्ट हीट we have given That's why it is example of the endothermic reaction. Now this question, you should be able to explain if you understand the concept. Okay. If you're not able to solve this, we'll have separate video will be available for this. Okay. So next is the another type displacement reaction. अभी तक क्या देखा हम लोगों ने? Combination reaction. Another is what? Decomposition reaction. Okay. These two we have seen. Now what we have? Displacement. Name is what? Displacement. So like suppose for example, in the class, some meritorious students are there. Now you got the first rank, suppose in some exam, your midterm exam. So another intelligent students, he has done some smart work, hard work. So in next exam, he got the first rank. So that means you are displaced by the another toppers. So same thing here. We are going to see that in the displacement reaction, इसमें क्या होगा mainly on the basis of reactivity series. जो हाई रिएक्टिव एलिमेंट्स हैं वो लो रिएक्टिव एलिमेंट्स को डिस्प्लेस कर देगा उसके कंपाउंड्स और वो इसका प्लेस ले लेगा. So high reactive elements will take the place of the low reactive elements. So for that here one activity is that we have taken the iron nail. So two iron nails are immersed here where in copper sulfate solution. And they have taken three iron nail. One iron nail is kept aside and two iron nails are inserted in this copper sulfate solution. So this is kept for the 20 minutes. Okay. Like this arrangement you are seeing. After 20 minutes, they are going to observe this blue color of the solution, whether it is going to change, it's going to be faded, and this iron nail, whether this color of the iron nail is also going to change. चेंज हुआ तो क्यों चेंज हुआ है ना, दैट वी आर गोइंग टू ऑब्जर्व हियर. चेंज होने के कारण क्या है, whether it is the displacement of high reactive element to the low reactive elements. So that is observed here. एक iron nail क्या है, which was not immersed in the solution, it was kept aside. और ये आयरन नेल क्या है जो कि कॉपर सल्फेट के सॉल्यूशन में रखा गया था. इसमें कॉपर सल्फेट CuSO4, इसका कलर क्या हुआ, इसमें चेंज हो गया. और राइट साइड यू कैन ऑब्जर्व द कॉपर सल्फेट का सॉल्यूशन जिसमें कि आयरन नेल नहीं डाला गया, और ये कॉपर सल्फेट का सॉल्यूशन जिसमें क्या आयरन नेल था. So this is blue color is faded. Okay. So why it is faded? So that reaction takes place here. What type of the reaction? Iron is going to react with copper sulfates. So iron is the more reactive in compared to copper. So it will replace the, or you can say displace the copper from the copper sulfates, and it forms the iron sulfate FeSO4, and we'll have here copper separately. So iron in solid form, copper sulfate aqueous solution in the water, and again what iron sulfate we are going to get, that is also aqueous in solution, and copper we are going to obtain, that is solid form. So here the color of the iron nail has changed. Okay, and solution, now the solution become the iron sulfates. Okay, and on this formation of the copper takes place, so that color has changed, it's become little brown. So here iron displace or remove the another element and from the copper sulfate solution. So that's why this reaction name is given as the displacement reaction. So here only one element replace the another elements. Okay, that is also called as the simple displacement reaction or single displacement reaction. Later we'll have discussion about double displacement reaction. So some more examples are taken. Okay, till now any doubt is there? Concept is clear? Okay, iron replace the copper. So that's why solution color is faded. and iron nail color also has changed. Next is the zinc with copper sulfates. Again, zinc is going to replace the copper. So we have zinc sulfate and copper as the product. Again, lead, Pb, going to replace the copper from the copper chloride. So we have lead chloride and copper. So here zinc and lead are more reactive elements than copper. That's why it is able to displace copper from the compounds. So it is the example of the displacement reaction. Like this, some reaction you can take from the previous year questions and you can practice whether it is which type of the reaction that you can recognize. And later we'll have another series of previous year questions also that is going to come. So after seeing this video, when one short lecture is available for each chapter, that also you should see so that you can have quick revision all entire chapter at the same time. Now we'll have double displacement. नेम क्या है? डबल डिस्प्लेसमेंट. So दोनों दोनों को क्या कर रहा है? डिस्प्लेस कर रहा है. Okay, one displacing another's, but they are also taking place of each other. Like suppose two chairs are here, one person is sitting here, one person is sitting. Now B will come to this chair and A will come to this chair. So both are taking place of each other. So there it will be the double displacement reaction. So for this here activity is what? It is we have solution of barium chloride and one solution of sodium sulfate. So sodium sulfate Na2SO4, okay, and barium chloride BaCl2, both are aqueous solution. So after reaction, what we are seeing that barium takes place of sodium and sodium takes place of barium. So that's why we have sodium chlorides and barium sulfates. So this is a double displacement. Both displace each other. That's why it is called as the double displacement. And sodium chloride is what? It is the common salt that we are eating every day. So it is soluble in the water. So it is forming the aqueous solution. Whereas barium sulfate is not soluble. So this is the insoluble substance. It formed some precipitate, white precipitate in the solution. Okay. So this is also can be called as precipitation reaction. Since barium sulfate is not soluble here, it's formed the white precipitate. So that we can call as the double reaction. Already it is the double displacement reaction along with precipitation reaction. Since here formation of the precipitation takes place. Sometimes it will see that if you have water is more rich in the iron, if you leave the water in the night time, you will get some layer on the water surface in the morning. So like this here, we have double displacement and precipitation formation takes place. So this white precipitate of barium sulfate is formed by the reaction of SO4 2 minus and Ba 2 plus. Later we'll see more detail about this, how we are getting SO4 2 minus, why it is not SO4 1 minus. So that we'll see in detail in another chapter when we'll talk about electronic configuration. And here sodium chloride is the soluble, so that is the aqueous. And here exchange of ions takes place between the reactants, sodium and barium. Okay, they have taken place of each other. So that's why it is called as the double displacement reaction. Another important topic we have that is called as oxidation and reduction. So this is very, very important. Apart from the what we have seen, the reactions, various types, what are the things we have seen? क्या क्या देखा? Combination, next decomposition, next displacement, means that is the single displacement, next double displacement. Okay, any doubt is there? Any doubts you can write in the comment box. So next very important topic is the oxidation and reduction. Okay, so here maybe this lecture is going to will end this. So In the next section, we'll cover the oxidation and reduction, and we'll cover the effect of oxidation in the daily life. Okay. So in this combinations means two reactants are going to combine, is going to give the product. If heat is being produced, it is called as the exothermic reaction. And in case of decomposition, one reactant is going to available in the two or three products, and in this we are going to give the heat. So it is also called as the endothermic reaction, and it is decomposition reaction. After that, we have displacement reaction, where high reactive elements is going to replace the low reactive elements. So that is called as the displacement reaction or single displacement. Whereas in case of double displacement reaction, one element is going to take the place of another. Okay, both are removing another elements. So that is the example of the double displacement reaction. Okay, so next we'll see about oxidation and reduction. Any doubt is there, you can write in the comment box. Okay, thank you very much.